Las Vegas Raiders looking to get in the win column after a disappointing start to the year. In Baltimore, the Ravens, well, they kind of know what that French pole vaulter felt like.
Oh, very close.
They were ready to go for two, but now they have to soak in Walter Socek's advice and forget about the toe. Have to focus on the task at hand, the Raiders, whose defense is dealing with a Lamar Jackson who looks just as MVP-ish as he did last year.
Jackson throws on the run to Bateman. He brought it in. Final half minute.
270-plus passing yards, a touchdown, no picks, plus maybe more relevant to this game, over 100 rushing yards.
Jackson goes quick, nothing open. He takes off as well as anyone.
It's not that the debut of Slash and Gash hit the way Psycho did right out of the gate. Derrick Henry only managed 3.5 a run, just 46 yards. He did at least score.
Right to the goal line and in on his first drive. King Henry.
Well, a boy's best friend is his mother. Reason the sequel has a chance to top the first iteration, J.K. Dobbins. Vegas gave up two monster runs to the Harry Potter author, 130 yards, a touchdown, just 10 carries.
He has to try and make a lunging one-arm tackle, and that ain't happening against Dobbins.
Raiders DBs could give Lamar trouble in the passing game. They held Justin Herbert to 144 yards, just 5.5 yards per attempt. Cornerbacks Jack Jones, Jacorian Bennett, Nate Hobbs, 14 yards allowed combined.
You can see the aggressiveness of the Raiders saying, we're coming after you.
This week, Raiders secondary dealing with the likes of Rashad Bateman, Nelson Aguilar. Neither did much in week one. Jackson's top target out of the gate, Mr. Toe himself, tight end Isaiah Likely, 100-plus yards and a TD despite that last pass attempt.
Isaiah Likely with a block down the sideline.
Tight end Mark Andrews, quiet week one, so Likely was picked up in fantasy by the droves. Raiders versus tight end Hayden Hurst, 33 yards allowed. Zay Flowers is still the receiver Vegas cornerbacks should focus on the most. He was thrown to 10 times versus KC, second most to Likely.
Jackson from the pocket. For Flowers, he's got it at the 33-yard line of Kansas City.
Flowers only 2 catches, 53 yards. He's the slot guy, so give us some Flowers and Hobbs. Now I get why they went with Crockett. Vegas pass rush week one, a Mad Max show again.
He uses power, speed, he has it all, Jim.
Crosby with a sack. Christian Wilkins didn't make it home, but Baltimore had a heck of a time with one Chris Jones last week.
Okay, well, you want a little welcome to the NFL. Here comes Chris Jones.
Pass protection was an issue for Vegas when they had the ball. That's an area they'll try and clean up. 4 sacks taken, left tackle Colton Miller allowed 1.5, as did right guard Dylan Parham.
Bosa and Mack with back-to-back sacks.
What kind of Ravens pass rush are they facing? Ravens picked up a couple sacks versus the Chiefs. Parham will see plenty of the DT formerly known as Justin. Nnamdi Madubuike had a half sack in week one. Defensive end David Ojabu also cracked the code once.
Pressure's on Mahomes, and he is stopped. David Ojabu.
None for Baltimore defensive end Odafe Owe out of the gate, and Ravens have to hope one of their sack masters is okay. Defensive end Kyle Van Noy left last week with a hurt eye. Minshew comes in with some confidence. It wasn't all bad in week one. 250-plus yards, a TD, a pick, mid-90s rate.
That is outstanding quarterback play by Gardner.
He likes Brock Bowers, most targets in week one, 58 yards in his NFL debut.
And watch this great cut. This kid's going to be an all-pro someday.
Ravens have Kyle Hamilton waiting for Bowers. He was a big reason Baltimore held Travis Kelce to under 40 yards.
Of course, all the focal point out here, wherever Kelce goes.
Ravens pass defense, sort of a mixed bag in its debut, came up with a pick of Patrick Mahomes in week one.
And that is a rare mistake right there for Patrick Mahomes.
Also gave up 290-plus yards, a rating over 100. The matchups when Minshew lets it fly, Ravens cornerback Marlon Humphrey versus Devontae Adams. Humphrey gave up a long touchdown last week to rookie Xavier Worthy when he thought he had help. He got tagged with a TD allowed and a fat rate because of it.
Did you see that little look out of the corner of his eye? He said, really?
Ravens secondary also allowed Rashee Rice to go for 100-plus yards in week one.
Rashee Rice, 19 more yards.
Baltimore's defense gave up 25-plus yards to Justin Watson, Noah Gray, and Isaiah Pacheco, too. Adams, a.k.a. the golf cart riding Taco Bell King, 6 targets, 5 catches, 59 yards in his first rodeo with the Gardner.
Well done. Passes there for Devontae.
Jacoby Myers also has to be accounted for, led Vegas with 61 yards last week.
On the run, he's got his man. He's got Myers.
The X Factor matchup, Baltimore's Roquan Smith, Vegas's running back Zamir White. Smith had a pick and played a big role in limiting KC's Pacheco to 45 yards, just 3 per run.
From the minute he showed up in Baltimore, the unquestioned leader of this football team.
White, 3.4 yards per carry, 44 yards in his first real go as RB1. The Ravens, 9-4 versus the Raiders overall. Sherman getting the Wayback Machine. First game in Ravens history was against the Raiders. Ernest Biner with the game winner in the 4th.